A victim of the contaminated blood scandal has told an inquiry there was a collation of secrecy by government officials and medical professionals to cover it up. Around 3,000 people there were infected with HIV and hepatitis C in the 70s and 80s. Well, Sky's Paul Kelso is in Edinburgh for us now. So, Paul, tell us more about what's been said there today.
Yeah, this is the first day of what will be a fortnight of hearings here in Edinburgh as the Infecting Blood inquiry, which is a UK-wide inquiry, travels to all four nations to hear from victims and their families, those infected and affected by the contaminated blood scandal. And it has a certain extra resonance here in Scotland because it's just 4 years since a previous inquiry led by Lord Penrose was published, to a great deal of disappointment and some anger from victims who felt, some felt it was a whitewash. It made just one recommendation and it really didn't ease the concerns or address the concerns of many of those affected. Now, we've heard from some witnesses here today already who've talked about dreadful experiences themselves being infected, or loved ones. The mother of a boy who died when he was in his early 20s from HIV as a haemophiliac. One of those who will be giving evidence this week and was watching today is Bill Wright, who's the chairman of Haemophilia Scotland. Bill, thanks for joining us. Why is it important that this inquiry is here in Scotland after the Penrose affair finished so badly?
Well, following the disappointment of Penrose, it's already clear today that expectations have been raised again, and this is a very different inquiry. It's different in the respect that I think we feel that we're being paid more attention to. Sir Brian has actually said that we're at the centre of everything and we're being given respect, and we feel, I think, at this stage we are being given respect. But it's different in another way as well. It's different that there's a much broader remit here. Sir Brian is looking at a UK-wide approach, whereas of course the Penrose inquiry was restricted to Scotland only. And also he's actually looking at the financial support there's been or not been for people, which again was not within the terms of reference of Penrose. And that's very important because the money that's involved is of great interest and really big for people.
And just give us an idea of what the position is, because it's been a real battle across the UK for victims. We must remember there's close to 5,000 people across the UK been infected. It's a real battle to get financial support, much less compensation.
Yeah, and we need to be clear about what we mean by compensation. There have been various schemes, there are various schemes in the different countries of the UK to award what are called ex gratia payments, in other words, goodwill payments, which support people from now onwards. And that's, of course, not everyone. And those schemes vary in terms of how generous they are. But what we're more concerned about is the historic damages, or the equivalent to legal damages. And that's when the UK government, bear in mind that this disaster took place prior to devolution, so it's the UK government, not just the Department of Health, if you forgive me, in England, who need to intervene here. But we need to be looking at the Treasury's involvement, because we believe that historically the Treasury were responsible.
Fantastic, Bill. That's a common thread we're going to hear. The victims want proper compensation and indeed actually acknowledgement from the governments in the four regions and the UK government that there was a failing, and that is something that is still 30 years on from people being infected, has still not been given.
OK, Paul, thank you.